Hi, my name is Tai Fujimura. I'm the CEO of Cantilever Web Design and Development. And today I want to talk to you about our estimating strategy that we use at Cantilever. Estimates are one of the most important parts of doing business as a service company, because if you can't give people a decent sense of how long things are going to take and what they're going to cost, it becomes difficult for people to engage with you for projects of any substantial size. So kind of no matter what charging methodology you use, if you charge hourly, if you do fixed rate projects, whatever you do, you're going to need to develop a methodology around your estimation that will make those estimates more and more accurate over time, which will give you a lot of value in your business. And this is something that's really, really difficult. I think it's one of the hardest parts also about running any kind of service business. There's always a natural human inclination to want things to go faster than they can, and it's also easy to miss details early in a project. And so we find that the more time we do spend in our estimate, it's never going to be perfect, but as long as we really think it through and have more of the team review the estimate and spend a little bit more time up front, it ends up saving us a lot of headache and potential pain down the line by not missing different aspects of the project that we need to accomplish. So I want to just walk you briefly through, this is our handbook entry on our estimate process, and this video is going to be on there soon. And so we basically use two different types of philosophy when it comes to estimating. So first of all, we want to use reference class estimation, which means that we're looking at projects that are similar in scope to the project that we're trying to estimate. And we have a database of all of our projects from the last 10 years that we've been in business, and odds are that any new project, there's at least one or two projects we've done before that are substantially similar. 10 years is a long time and a lot of projects. The second thing is using a work breakdown structure. And so if you're not familiar, this is kind of the canonical methodology in project management for trying to discern all of the different work packages and steps that are within each of those work packages to get a project done. And we use maybe somewhat of an abbreviated version of a work breakdown structure compared to what a hardcore PMBOK style project manager would use, but it's been really helpful for us, and that's what I'm going to show you next. And I'll link to this page in the YouTube description so you can check it out. So this is a sample estimate that we put together, and we wanted to share this publicly. This file is available to anyone who wants to look at it, wants to use it. This is just showing a rough example of what things might look like for a website that's around the $75,000 range, and it goes into some amount of detail on all the steps that would be involved in that work and what those hours would be that are going into everything. So you have kind of a summary screen when you first load it here, and then we have three broad phases. Some projects you want to have even more phases. There might be some consultations or other services associated with the project. And in our case, we're also assuming going into this project that we've already done a diagnostic with the client to determine what they would want, and creating this estimate is a part of that diagnostic process. So going into each phase, we have just a breakdown of typical steps that would take place for a project of this size for us and rough hours associated with that. We have different rates that are assigned to our different categories of work. We charge different rates depending on what the actual work is. And so you can see for all of the different phases how the work would break down, and therefore what the ultimate costs might be. And when you get into later phases, the way we tend to do things is that we know at the outset, when we're going into our UX phase, for instance, what our estimate is going to be for that. And that's because there's no more unknowns left. That's the first thing that we're going to do. So we'd be kind of charging that amount, and that's that. But for future phases, there's variance. And the variance comes because we don't know what's going to come up in UX. So if we do the UX phase and we decide on a brand new feature, that's going to impact the development and design time. Or we might decide to cut some stuff, and that would lower the cost. So we want to include that variance in here. So just a quick intro. Let me know if this was helpful, and talk to you soon. Thank you.